Good morning, traders. Welcome to Beyond Profile. Today is Tuesday. It's August 16th, and we're about midway through August already. Yesterday, we had broken out of our potential stage 3 on our daily time frame for the ESE Mini. Our stage 3 in our B formation, we said that one day doesn't make a change in it, other than a second day has to come along and confirm it. And this morning, we are obviously confirming that we were not going to have our stage 4 here. We're actually pulling back inside. We're down 16 here, trading around the 82 level, which is this low volume pocket right here on the chart, which is basically undoing everything from yesterday. So that's going to put us back into our potential stage 3 here, which we're going to have to look at probably the top end of this as being the whole stage 3 level right here. So the unfair highs back down to the unfair low territory. Now there's a lot of volume that has been generated down in these lows. The first area of concern would obviously be the 76 level, coming back to this area. Then you've got a low volume pocket right here, which is about 64s, 64, 63. There's a low volume pocket. That would be my second objective to come back. How far do they come back and rotate in this? What we were really looking for yesterday was some sort of signs of this on Friday's highs. All right, being the stage 3, this would have put us into stage 4 into the imbalanced state and rotate all the way back up to the prior breakdown area here, which was about 1250. But with this morning, this is almost going to look like an outlier here, and again, a gap up yesterday, gap down. We have a gap to fill actually here at 77 too. That would be Friday's settlement price. So for us this morning, with the gap down now, what we have to look for is where's our first areas of support on the way back down, and that would be the 77s and then the 64 level, 65s down here in this low volume pocket. If neither one of those hold, obviously then we can go all the way back to the bottom of the prior balance area, which would take us all the way back down to 1100. Again, remember, we've covered about 100 points here in less than 5 days. All right. We got options expiration this week. We're going to see a lot of volatility still. Euro still all over the place. And but what we want to watch for structurally and how we trade this obviously is based on what the daily is telling us. We can use the smaller time frames intraday to maneuver around, but with what we're looking at on a daily chart always will dictate where we're going. And again, if we can just open this up and maybe say, all right, well, this is the top of the stage 3 here. Maybe this wasn't 4. We still have a high volume node here at 96. Actually, the point of control for at the end of the day did shift right to 1199. So this may be the top of our stage 3 here. It looked like it might have been on Friday, but this could be in fact the 3s, which means then we are not in a 4, which means then we do this. We start to auction back and forth within this balance area, and do we come all the way back down? Only time will tell. Maybe we come back on a shallower note and only come back to here. And then eventually what we're going to be looking for is for this to break to the top side to go to a stage 4, or we get a new stage 1 and breaks out down below here and continues lower and into new lows underneath these last pivot lows. All right, that would be they can also, remember, they could come through here and run through the prior lows, snap back up inside of the box. Now if we saw something like that, then we would be guaranteed we were going to go out the other end of the box. Then the auctioning process would have confirmed for us a failure to go lower. Then means what? We're going to go back higher. We saw this yesterday in yesterday's trading action in the regular session. Let me grab a chart of that. And remember that those rules apply in all time frames. You just remember you have to apply them to the time frame that you're trading from. Here's an example of that when a market has gone from one IB to the other IB. Yesterday we saw when the markets came down to the initial balance low that there was a probe and there was no follow through, and we said that we need to get long because we know we're going to test the other end of the balance area. It took a long time, 11:30 up until about 2:30, but we did get there, and the auctioning process did play out. So when I stress about the time frame that you're on is very important. Don't anticipate the outcome of a daily candle. Some people might have been really again bullish yesterday looking at where we were, but really structurally speaking, where were we in the whole mix of things? We were just at the top of the potential stage 3 here, and obviously with the gap down this morning is proving to be more so that this was the upper end of the unfair high territory of that prior balance area. So now we begin to auction back and forth, and we'll be looking at these first couple key reference areas on the downswing, this 77s and then the 64 levels. All right. Those of you who were in the room last night in our trades from overnight, shorting the 1200s going into the close, well exceeded our target objectives. And if you were awake and you could have stayed with the trade, obviously you would have capitalized on almost nearly 20 points. Okay. All right, folks. We'll see you in the trading room. Have a good day.